Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here. The marquee event of the year. I had to look up what that word meant in depth to use it. UFC 322, Madison Square Garden. This Saturday, tomorrow, dude. I'm so fucking excited. This card is starting in like 24 hours time of me recording this. 24 and a half to be specific. It is 5:30 p.m. EST right now. I am so excited for this fucking card. We're going to break down the entire thing from the first fight of the night all the way to the main event of the evening of Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev for the welterweight strap. Makhachev, of course, moving up in weight class from lightweight after vacating earlier this year. We're going to start with the first fight of the night here. This is a fucking heater. This card is so good. This card is stacked front to back with banger after banger. We're going to start with this first fight. Vyacheslav Borshev, Slava Claus, will be taking on Matheus Camilo. This fight, bro, I think most people are picking Vyacheslav Borshev because Matheus Camilo is 0-1 in the UFC. I have rewatched a lot of fighters' fights that I just can't really remember who they fought last or how they did. I have rewatched a lot of fighters' fights in the lead up to this fight. I've watched JDM versus Bilal Muhammad a number of times as well. Matheus Camilo is good. I mean, we'll see. But I think his performance against Gabe Green, he got caught. All right? Everybody gets caught. But he had Gabe Green in a very, very deep triangle submission that Gabe Green just muscled out of. A guy like Vyacheslav Borshev is tapping. A guy like Vyacheslav Borshev is tapping to that. He's 8-6, bro. Vyacheslav Borshev is 8-6. And he's coming off of a submission loss. I think that he will lose this fight to Matheus Camilo by submission. I think that that's a pretty clear cut. I don't know what the odds are. Yeah, Matheus Camilo is the favorite. I agree with those odds because Matheus Camilo, very, very crafty, bro. I'll say this. He's crafty, man. We continue, though, to the next fight of the night. Let me recenter it here. Baisangor Susurkayev. I learned how to say it. Taking on Eric McConaughey. Baisangor back for his third fight this year. Second fight in the UFC. He had 2 fights in a week. He fought on a Tuesday, and then he fought on a Saturday. He's making his second fight. He's taking on Eric McConaughey. I mean, bro, what can we say about Eric McConaughey that hasn't already been said? The dude is a feeder, all right? And I don't mean that he's, like, beating these scrubs. I mean, he is the feed for people to grow on. He's not good. I believe this is his 4th UFC fight. I think he's 1-2. Let's check. He's 1-1. Never mind. His win comes over a Cody Brundage, though. Not a Baisangor Susurkayev. Baisangor also, can I be honest with you guys? I think he has the biggest chance of losing his O. No, Michael Morales does. Okay, never mind. Scratch that from the record. Baisangor, very good on the feet, very good on the ground. He's pretty well-rounded, trains with Hamzat Chimaev. This guy's a prospect. He's a legit prospect. Eric McConaughey's kind of a can. Baisangor by whatever the fuck he wants. We continue to the third fight of the night. Angela Hill takes on Fatima Klein. I actually watched Fatima Klein's most recent fight recently. I believe it was her most recent fight. It was the one in January, the first fight of the year. It must not have been, dude. No way she fought at the beginning of the year and not since. I watched her fight recently against, who was it? Was it Karatskaida? I think it was this, was she Romanian, Lithuanian, Karatskaida? Fatima Klein is a gamer, dude. Fatima Klein is very, very good. I'm really impressed every time that she wins. I think she's actually a prospect at women's strawweight that, could, maybe a ranking coming after this fight. Angela Hill's kind of a gatekeeper of the division, so I could see Fatima Klein getting it, 14, 15 ranked. Get her in the rankings. She's good, bro. She's actually a good fighter that women's strawweight is missing right now. Who else is good at strawweight? I'm trying to think. Everyone I'm thinking of is flat. Like as I've been talking, I've been going through my head of like, who's a good women's strawweight that I can compare her to. I don't know anybody in this division. Who fought recently? Fucking, dude, Fatima Klein would maul Tesha Torres. She would maul her. Fatima Klein's very good, man. And I think that women's strawweight actually has a legit prospect in her. Angela Hill. What can you say about Angela Hill? Dude, Angela Hill has been robbed many a time. I feel that her 18-15 record, by the way, I feel that it's a bit fraudulent because I feel like maybe she should be like a 20-13, 21-11 kind of person. No, that's not correct. 21-12 kind of record, but still, it's not the best record to be flexing double digits when you don't even have 20 wins. I don't know. I like Angela Hill. I think Fatima Klein is just that new guard. You know what I mean? She's next up in strawweight. Angela could put on like a masterclass here, but I just don't see it happening. I'm going with Fatima Klein to win this fight by, I will say, submission. Next fight of the night. Pat Sabatini is taking on Shepe Mariscal. This is a banger, bro. Shepe Mariscal. I'm such a big fan of Shepe Mariscal. I'm really scared for this fight, and I'll tell you why. Shepe Mariscal, 5-0 in the UFC. His only losses, he has 6 losses that are like, they're, I guess, pretty decent opponents. You know, I think they're all regional, but they're all like, oh yeah, that's a decent guy. Listen, Shepe Mariscal has good wins. He is a gamer. His last fight was honestly not the best name in Ricardo Ramos. Pat Sabatini, I think, is significantly better than Ricardo Ramos, but Shepe Mariscal is a gamer, bro. He comes out there, he is striking. He's like a striking version of Merab. He just keeps going. He's on the gas pedal the entire fight until it eventually just breaks you down. Now, here's why I'm scared. Pat Sabatini, coming off a win over Joanderson Brito. Joanderson Brito is a really, really good kickboxer and fun as fuck to watch. Pat Sabatini shut him down. Took him down and held him there. He had like 14 and a half minutes control time in a 15-minute fight. Pat Sabatini is very, very good at what he does. He wet blankets you. He's not fun to watch. He's really fucking boring. They cannot be feeding him people that actually have hype behind them like a Shepe Mariscal because he's just going to like fucking wet blanket them and it's going to be a shit boring fight and both guys are going to lose stock. I'm not impressed by any of Pat Sabatini's performances. I think that we have to be going for finishes, bro, because he's similar to a Grant Dawson. I was actually thinking about this today. He's similar to a Grant Dawson where he'll get on top of you in a very dominant position and he just will not attack. He'll just stay on top of you and wet blanket you, and you're going to get gassed because you can't do anything. Every move that you make is useless. You can't move when this guy's on top of you and he's just suffocating you. That's what Pat Sabatini does. It's like someone pours a wet layer of concrete on you. He's very, very good at what he does. His takedowns are clean. They're slick. I'm a little bit worried for Shepe Mariscal. I am going to say Pat Sabatini is going to win this fight by decision. But, dude, oh, fuck. I want Shepe Mariscal to win so bad, dude. I love Shepe Mariscal. We continue. Kyle Daukaus is taking on the Dark Knight, the Darce Knight. Kyle Daukaus is taking on Gerald Meerschaert, the third, GM3. Dude, sporting a 37-20 record is GM3. My goodness. That is quite the 57 fights. That is quite the record. I like GM3. Bro, you're losing this fight. Kyle Daukaus has had a career resurgence recently. He's back in the UFC from the regional scene. Got a very brutal first-round knockout in his first fight back. Now he's taking on Gerald Meerschaert, who's on a 3-fight skid. I think 1 by knockout, 1 by decision, 1 by submission. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Kyle Daukaus is taking this guy out. I think that he has the tools to beat a GM3. But GM3's, as always, he's a crafty vet, man. Like, he can get you out of there at any moment if you're on the ground. He's not really throwing you, he's not knocking you out on the feet, but he can get you out of there while you're on the ground with him. And I think Kyle Daukaus can get him out of there on the feet and on the ground. His front chokes are not him. He's the Darce Knight, right? He's got a nasty Darce choke. I got Kyle Daukaus to win this fight, and I think he's a pretty heavy favorite, as most people agree with me. I'm sorry? Minus 155 is the odds here. That can't be accurate. It was minus. I put a bet on Malcolm Wilmaker today. He was minus 500. Ethan Ewing doesn't even show his last fight. this company has so much fucking money and they can't show a fight that wasn't in their goddamn company. Tapology, Ethan Ewing. Listen, here's the thing about Ethan Ewing that you guys aren't ready to hear. My boy last fought 1 week ago. You can't see that? Hang on. There. His last fight was November 7th, where he got a first-round knockout over Billy Brand. Listen. What weight class was that at? Bantamweight. Now this fight, okay, it's a featherweight fight. It's a featherweight fight. Wait. Malcolm Wellmaker? Wait. Hang on. He is a bantamweight. All of his fights have been at bantamweight. He is moving up in weight class to featherweight. Uh-oh. Here's minus 550. I don't know why they said, okay, we've discovered this fight is at featherweight. Malcolm Wellmaker, a bantamweight, is taking on Ethan Ewing, who is also a bantamweight. Listen, this fight was not supposed to happen. It was Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cody Haddon earlier in the week. I believe on Wednesday. No. I believe on Thursday. Yesterday is when Cody Haddon made the call. He has a broken foot. Will not be taking on Malcolm Wellmaker. Malcolm Wellmaker instead pulls Ethan Ewing from the regional scene. This fucking fight isn't open. My fault. He doesn't have a photo. By the way, is that, oh my God, I have his face in my head. I can't think of his name. Whatever. Ethan Ewing, I watched his fight yesterday. I watched it in 2x speed. He's pretty good, man. I mean, he's good on regional scene. He's knocked out a lot of people on regional scene. He's got power. Moving up in weight class, of course, as is Malcolm Wellmaker for this fight. I think Wellmaker is going to take this kid out. But, you know, we haven't really seen him tested. And Ethan Ewing might be the guy to test him. I'm not certain. Regardless, I have Malcolm Wellmaker to win this fight. I thought Malcolm Wellmaker was going to beat Cody Haddon. I'm not going to lie, but it would have been a very close fight. This is going to be a primarily striking fight. I think Ethan Ewing's going to get slept. They're sending Malcolm Wellmaker down a very similar career path to Atiba Gauthier, which I don't love. But again, this was a short notice fight for his grappling test. Instead, they got a regional guy. So I'm going Malcolm Wellmaker to win this fight by knockout. I think I have him in round 1, by the way. Next fight of the night, Erin Blanchfield is taking on Tracy Cortez. All right. This fight is I'm an Erin Blanchfield hater. And I'll tell you why I'm an Erin Blanchfield hater. We're fighting at 125 pounds. And I don't mean that because, fuck, it's going to look like I'm so sexist if I say this, though. Okay, I'm going to make my point and then hear me out. Hear out my point. Hear out my point on this. Because it's going to sound bad at first. But I trust, believe me when I tell you that it's going somewhere good. Look at the body of Erin Blanchfield. All right? Look at the body of Tracy Cortez. I'm talking about their stomach reach. Tracy Cortez has clearly cut weight. Erin Blanchfield clearly hasn't. Now, I'm saying this because whenever I think of Erin Blanchfield, the thing that sticks out the most to me is her fight against Manon Fiorot, where I was pretty big on Erin Blanchfield going into this fight because even though she's a decision merchant, she's very, very dominant in what she does. She takes you down and she will beat you on the ground 4 or 5 rounds or 3 rounds for whatever reason she gets main events. And I'm going into this Manon Fiorot fight, and I'm going, yeah, she's going to win. I mean, Manon Fiorot's a kickboxer. She's a really, really elite, high-level grappler. Obviously, she's going to win this fight. And she can't even put a fucking hand on Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot is just bigger. She's just bigger. Erin Blanchfield is 5'4", naturally weighs, I believe, 130 pounds. She's not cutting much weight, if any. She's really small, right? And every time she will grapple Manon Fiorot is just pushing her away. She's Dude, it's like when you when you're in playing like a fucking Batman game or something, and you try and accidentally grapple. It's not Batman. It's the Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor games when you try and grapple those big brute dudes and they just shove you off. That's what Manon Fiorot was doing to Erin Blanchfield. And then she would pick her apart on the feet because she was so much bigger. Now, Tracy Cortez is only an inch taller and actually has a reach disadvantage, but I think she's going to be physically bigger. Because you can tell, you can look at her at the weigh-ins. She has cut weight. Erin Blanchfield hasn't. She just hasn't. She's her natural weight. I am going to take Erin Blanchfield to win this fight, but I have been saying this for years. Erin Blanchfield, move down and you will be champion. Be 115 pounds and you will be champion, Erin Blanchfield. It's not a crazy cut. You will be champion at 150 pounds. I guarantee it. Mark my words, Erin Blanchfield. Please, move down. I do have Erin Blanchfield to win this fight, though. I think Tracy Cortez is all right. I mean, if you look at, it's women's MMA. I know MMA math doesn't work, but in WMMA it kind of does. Tracy Cortez had a very close fight and lost to Rose Namajunas. Erin Blanchfield beat Rose Namajunas. Pretty simple. Erin Blanchfield's going to win this fight by decision because she is not, who the fuck is she finishing? Real talk. Next fight of the night, Roman Kopylov is taking on Gregory Robocop Rodriguez Obama. Listen. Roman Kopylov, this is a great fight, and I'll tell you why. But I think that the odds are wrong. Well, no. I think Robocop is going to win. The odds are correct, but I think that they should be way further. Roman Kopylov has a very good finishing rate. And you see, like, if someone tells you, oh, this guy has, like, this, however many knockouts in his last 7, I think he's, like, 6 knockouts in his last 7, right? You go, oh, so he's, like, a power puncher. No. He's just really, really technical, and he kind of views the fight different than most people, I think. He views the fight as a 15-minute one thing. So he will spend 14 and a half minutes setting up one shot, and then he'll land it at the end of the fight, which is what he did against Chris Curtis. He sets up for 15 minutes. He sets up that high kick, and then at the end of the fight, he head kicks Chris Curtis, and it didn't even finish Chris Curtis. If we're honest, Chris Curtis was fine. It was an early stoppage, and there was like 1 second left. The referee, Chris Curtis was not taking any more damage. You could have just let it go to decision still. Roman Kopylov just got beat up really bad by Paulo Costa because Paulo Costa's, he's a gamer. You know what I mean? He just goes through. I really don't like this fight for Roman Kopylov. Gregory Rodriguez has also a lot of finishes, but he's a power puncher. He's knocking people the fuck out in the first and the second round. He doesn't have a gas tank, which I think if this fight goes into the third round will significantly deter him because he fought, who was it, Jared Cannonier? That was a 5-round fight, and he was gassed as shit by end round 2. Roman Kopylov will win this fight as it goes longer. But I think Gregory Rodriguez can get him out of there pretty early. He's a very, very powerful guy. And he's also very elite in jiu-jitsu as well. I'm pretty sure he's a black belt, multiple-time jiu-jitsu champion, where Roman Kopylov is more of a striker. So even if he's losing on the feet, I think Gregory Rodriguez has the tools to bring this fight to the ground. He's got a massive height advantage, a 3-inch height advantage. I think that he's going to win this fight. And I think he'll do it early. I'm going Gregory Rodriguez by finish for this fight. Next fight of the night, the main event of the prelims. Bo Nickal takes on Rodolfo Vieira. Originally scheduled to be on the main card, by the way, but they realized that Bo should just retire from the sport. I'm holding him to it. He said if he's ever on that, when he made his UFC debut, he said if I'm ever on the prelims, I will retire from the sport. Goodbye. I'm not a big Bo Nickal guy. I'm not a big Bo Nickal fan. I think he's really cocky and overconfident, and he's not that good. He's taking on Rodolfo Vieira, though, who, let's be honest, isn't that good either. He's not, he kind of sucks, actually. He's kind of a can. I just rewatched his fight against Tresean Gore. I don't even remember who fucking won that fight. I literally watched it last night, but I also, right after that fight, went on a marathon of watching Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira fights. My fault. I kind of got distracted. Whatever. Bo Nickal, I think, will win this fight however he chooses to. And I think he'll probably try and keep it standing because Rodolfo Vieira's striking isn't the best, and he's really good on the ground, right? They're both very elite on the ground. It would probably cancel out. I was listening to Ariel Helwani. They said the same thing. He'll cancel out on the ground because they're both so good. But Bo is a wrestler. Rodolfo Vieira is BJJ, so if Bo gets a takedown, they're both where they want to be. And I think, I don't know. I don't even know who's more dangerous on the ground. I think Bo Nickel is. I think Bo Nickel has every advantage going into this fight. It kind of feels like a layup. I don't know why they made this fight. This feels like hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby, to be honest. We're going Bo Nickel to win this fight. And by striking as well. He has no hands, dude. Look what he did to Paul Craig, dude. This guy couldn't outstrike Paul. Fuck, maybe I'm choosing the wrong guy. Now that I think about it, no, we're sticking with Bo Nickel, but I just remember what he did to Paul Craig. Who does that to Paul Craig? He's a marauder. Anyways, we continue to the start of the main card. Beneil Dariush is taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Scam Denis. Ooh. Blue text on the black shorts looks clean, bro. By the way, I haven't touched on it yet. People are shitting on the new shorts. Literally don't know why. They look good, bro. They look fine. They look fine. Were people like glazing these like ones that look like they had been torn by an animal? I didn't hate those either. Why is it such a big deal that the short... Oh, I can't believe they would do this. Why does it matter? Who cares? It's fucking shorts, bro. Like, I don't understand why people are so up in arms about them changing the look of the shorts. And I think that they look good. They're not, like, amazing. I wouldn't buy them, but I haven't ever bought UFC shorts. You know what I mean? They're not like, oh, okay. Yeah, they got triangles on the shorts now. Like, who cares, dude? Who actually cares? They just changed the look of the shorts. They do it a lot. They've done it like 4 or 5 times. I don't hate them. I like them, actually. I don't know if I think that some of them look good. These blue ones, I keep looking over at Beneil and I go, dude, these blue ones suck. I think the black ones look pretty sick, though, especially with the blue text. I like that. We continue to the next fight, though. I a little bit of ramble there, my fault. Benny Dariush is taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, BSD. Listen, bro. The God of War, BSD. I don't know, dude. So, if we remember, by the way, I called this fight like a week before it happened. I said in one of my videos, I was like, bro, if you're Benoit Saint-Denis, get a fight, bro. Because this was when nobody at lightweight was booked. Literally 0 people in the top 15 in lightweight were booked. And I said in my video, Benoit Saint-Denis, fight Beneil Dariush. You're on similar timelines. He's a pretty easy opponent to get out of there. Fight Beneil Dariush. And then about maybe 4 or 5 days later, this fight got announced. So this guy's got inside knowledge into the UFC. I'm just saying. Benoit Saint-Denis is going to lose this fight. I believe that truthfully, and I'll tell you why. Beneil Dariush is crafty, bro. Listen, he's got really, really good scrambles. And again, MMA math doesn't work, but look what Moicano did to BSD, and look what Beneil Dariush did to Moicano. Beneil Dariush had Moicano almost out of there in the 3rd round, dude. But I will say he got clipped in the 1st round, but it was a straight punch. Now, if you watch Bedtime's breakdown, because he said this and I went, wait, he's fucking right, dude. Beneil Dariush gets hurt by straight punches. Benoit Saint-Denis is not hurting anybody with straight punches. He's not even hurting people with hooks. He's using elbows, he's using knees, and he's using kicks to hurt people. If you watch the Matt Frevola fight, it's a kick on the break. Like, Matt Frevola, for whatever reason, turns his back to him on the break of a fucking clinch on the cage, and Benoit Saint-Denis throws a high kick, and his ankle hits the temple, puts him out cold. Anytime that Benoit Saint-Denis has had somebody hurt, it is due to an elbow or a knee or a kick. He's not hurting people with his hands, and especially not straight punches, which he rarely throws. He's a looping puncher similar to a Michael Chandler. Beneil Dariush is only getting hurt by straight punches. Watch the Moicano fight. It's a straight right that hurts him. And I will say, I thought for sure he was going to be out of there. I thought for sure Moicano was about to finish Beneil Dariush. I was not big on Beneil Dariush going into that fight, but he has changed my perception of him. This guy can dig deep. He has the ability to dig deep. What happened when Benoit Saint-Denis dug deep? What happened when Benoit Saint-Denis fought against Dustin Poirier and was forced to dig deep? He ended up flat on his back. Beneil Dariush is going to... But I also will say, like, I was thinking about it today, man. This clinch, I think this clinch is the scary part for Beneil Dariush. If he can avoid the clinch, he will win this fight. Mark my words. If Benoit Saint-Denis wins this fight by KO, it is in the clinch. I think they're similar on the ground. He has a very good ground game as well, BSD. They're similar on the ground, and I think Benil's scrambles will help him evade any submission attempts. I think he will lose on the clinch if he loses this fight, but I don't think that he will. I think he's going to take home like a 29-28 decision where he drops the first round. Next fight of the night, Leon Rocky Edwards. Bro, they took me custom shorts, bro. They took me fucking custom shorts, bro. He didn't even, by the way, didn't even have him against Sean Brady. I saw this recently. I forgot who said it. My apologies, but shout out. He didn't even have him against Sean Brady. Why are people saying that he lost his custom shorts on this one? He lost them last fight. They took me fucking custom shorts, bro. They took me custom shorts, bro. I truly believe that. I truly believe that I want to call a process fight, bro. Truly believe that I beat Bilal. Bromlal. I've been doing that one all week, dude. When he gets in the elevator with Bilal, he goes, Bromlal. I don't know what the fuck he means by that, but Leon Edwards is taking out Carlos CP Prates, the fighting nerd. I had a dream. Oh, shit. If you got to this point in the video, you can hear about my dream. I had a dream that me and some friends were hanging out and Carlos Prates pulled up. And I was like, yo, Carlos Prates, you saw what Mauricio Jufi and John Silverstein have posted about, repping Israel. And I was like, do you fuck with Israel, bro? Be honest. And then he was like shook his head no. And I was like, fuck yeah, bro. What a crazy dream I had, bro. I just remembered that right now. I swear on everything I love, that's a real story, dude. I swear on everything I love, I had a dream that Carlos Prates did not support Israel in my presence. Carlos Prates is winning this fight. I don't know what the fuck to tell you guys. How has he had more fights than Leon Rocky Edwards, bro? This guy is so inactive. Leon Edwards, the story of this fight, like everyone's talking about it, the story of this fight is the guy who's a points fighter, who rarely gets finishes, who has like one memorable finish, and it was a last-ditch effort head kick in the last minute of a title fight that he was losing 24 fucking minutes of. He's taking on Carlos Prates, who finishes fights. All 6 of his UFC wins are walk-off KOs. My worry here is watching, think about the Carlos Prates versus Ian Gary fight, who Ian Gary has a similar point fighting style to Leon Edwards, but I think Leon Edwards' game plan is just worse. I think Ian Gary won that fight because his game plan is very good. Using that rear kick to keep the left hand busy of Carlos Prates was very, very smart, and he did it the entire fight, and Carlos Prates didn't really have anything up until the end. Leon Edwards, I think he's not going to do that. I think he's going to, be standing around at range, throwing a jab, maybe throwing a body kick here or there, but I think Carlos Prates is going to put the fucking brakes, put the pressure on him, and beat the brakes off of him. All right? I just see Leon Edwards being flatlined. I think he's going to get flatlined. I'm serious. I think he's going to be flatlined in this fight. Carlos Prates is going to be boosted into superstardom after getting a brutal knockout on the main card of a Madison Square Garden pay-per-view. And I think that he will maybe skip. We'll talk about the Michael Morales fight. If Michael Morales loses, I think he skips to the front of the line if he gets a very brutal knockout this Saturday. But speaking of Michael Morales, he is next. I love the new purple shorts, by the way. We were talking about it earlier. The new purple shorts look way better than the old purple. Dude, the old purple looked like blue. When you're watching it, because seeing it, it doesn't look like blue. But when you're watching it on TV, it looks like blue. It looks like a light version of these blues. Or a dark, or whatever the fuck it looked like. It did not look like purple. This purple is what I'm talking about. I love these purple shorts. Venom, they cooked. They cooked with these purple shorts. This fight is a banger. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales, dude. Michael Morales is going to swing into the octagon against Sean Brady. Now, if you look at this fight, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales, you can't see their record. Sean Brady, 18-1. Michael Morales, 18-0. This is a fucking heater, bro. Both of these guys are very, very elite fighters and very good at what they do. Sean Brady just tapped out Leon Edwards in round 3. Oh, fuck, dude. I have such a big blister on my finger because I cut it when I was rock climbing. I blistered it when I was rock climbing. I just hit it so hard. Sean Brady has such a good jiu-jitsu game. He's such a fucking good grappler. And he's honestly not bad on the feet either. If you watch his fights where he's boxing, he's not bad on the feet either. He's very, very well-rounded. I am a big fan of Sean Brady, and I have been since I got into the sport. I remember watching him at, like, what was 15-0, going to 16-0 or something. Was that the Bilal fight maybe? I don't know. I remember being a big on Sean Brady. It's because when I was like, I'm serious, I was just getting into the sport, and I was like, oh, he's 16-0. He's tied Anderson Silva. Not accurate. But Michael Morales, very big power puncher. I know so little about this guy. I know his last fight, he beat Gilbert Burns by knockout. Couldn't even tell you the fight before that. I know so little about Michael Morales. I am a little bit suspicious of his record. He has a lot of knockouts. He has a lot of first-round knockouts. But, like, dude, old man Gilbert Burns is who you're finishing? I don't know, man. Like, Sean Brady's pretty good. And people keep saying, like, oh, his chin got tested against Bilal, which is a very valid point. I cannot believe that Bilal's only UFC finish is Sean Brady. It's actually unbelievable because Sean Brady's so fucking good. I think Sean Brady's going to win this fight. I think it's going to be a decision, man. No, I don't. But we don't know Michael Morales' ground game. That's something that has to be noted. We don't know his ground game at all. He could be elite on the ground. He could be ass on the ground. I think, dude, I just had like a premonition of vision. Sean Brady in full mount. And Michael Morales just can't do anything. He's getting like Reinier de Ridder versus Brendan Allen on the ground. Like, he's going to like gassed on his back in round 2. And Sean Brady's just teeing away on him. He doesn't get a finish. I think he might finish it in round 3 by submission, actually. But we're going Sean Brady to win this fight. I think Michael Morales is going to take a step. But if he wins this fight, I think he's next for the title. Because 19-0 versus... Oh, we're not skipping there. I almost told you who I thought was going to win. For a split second there, I almost told you who I thought was going to win, but we're not there yet. Listen, we're on the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko defends her women's flyweight belt against Zhang Weili, the strawweight, moving up post. She looks kind of big, man. Her arms look huge. Her arms look massive. She's moving up in weight class to take on Valentina Shevchenko. Oh, also, something to be noted. Beneil Dariush missed weight, and he looked really bad on the scale. He looked like skinny Dariush again. Hang on, can I find this? Bad weight cut Dariush. Darius? He looked like this version of Beneil Dariush, bro, when he was on the scale. And he missed weight by 2.5 pounds. He's going to get chinned. Fuck, he is going to get chinned. My prediction has changed. It's Beneil Dariush getting chinned. Anyways, back to this fight. Zhang Weili, and I only thought of that because I went, why does her weight say 115 when she weighed in at 125? Zhang Weili, bro, I think if she wins this fight, she's the women's GOAT. She's so good. She's good everywhere. She's a great striker. She has a bunch of... She's knocking out fucking Joanna Wojciech. She knocks her spinning back fist to the jaw, knocks her out cold. Zhang Weili is so good. And Joanna is an elite kickboxer. And Zhang Weili is just able to pick her apart and knock her out cold. And then she takes on, I mean, I know it's a few fights later, she took on Yan Xiaonan. It wasn't the best performance. But to be fair, she'd get scammed out of the win in the first round against Yan Xiaonan because Yan Xiaonan was unconscious via choke. She was unconscious via choke. And then the referee picks her up and puts her in the corner, and her corner gives her smelling salts, which is illegal. Zhang Weili won that fight by submission in round 1. Watch the fight. She won that fight by submission in round 1. And then she has like a shitty second and third round because she just had an adrenaline dump because she thought she won. And then she comes back and wins the fight. That's how good Zhang Weili is. She won that fight 2 times. And then she takes on an Olympic wrestler in Tatiana Suarez, who only didn't go to the Olympics because she had cancer, and she demolishes her and takes her down and stops every single one of her takedowns. Zhang Weili is the GOAT. She's the GOAT. And she's taking on Valentina Shevchenko, who is very good. She's the women's flyweight GOAT. We have no debate in this. She's like the only fucking champion in women's flyweight history. And she's the first person to ever fill out all the rubies on her belt. But she's old now. She's had a few stinkers recently. We watch an Alexa Grasso fight, and she didn't do that well in the first. She got choked out in the first fight. We watch a second fight, and they had a draw, which, maybe she won, but she looked pretty good against Manon Fiorot. I saw that fight in person, and I haven't watched it since because I can't really be asked to. But she's old. She's looking older. She's looking slower. She doesn't have that finishing ability. She doesn't have that killer instinct anymore that Zhang Weili still possesses. And you can use the criticism of that she hasn't really finished a fight in their last 3 fights. Okay, she finished Carla Esparza with one of the craziest rear naked chokes I've ever seen, using her legs to trap the arm to stop the hand fight instead of having a body triangle, and Carla Esparza just can't get out of it. And then she, like I explained, takes Yan Zhanan to a decision that she should not have fucking had to do, and then she out-wrestles the Olympic wrestler. Zhang Weili is winning this fight. And you look at this fight and you go, like, someone said to me, by the way, someone said this to me. Valentina Shevchenko has the advantage on the ground. Zhang Weili has the advantage on the feet. What? Zhang Weili outclasses Valentina Shevchenko on the ground and outclasses Valentina Shevchenko on the feet. Zhang Weili is just better. She's just better. She's the women's GOAT. And she's going to become champ. And a real champ. Not an Amanda Nunes. We're going to create a division for you so we have one fight in the entire division ever and you can become champ. She is the real champ of women's division. She is the women's GOAT. She's in the GOAT conversation of all time. Zhang Weili is winning this fight, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is insane to me that she is an underdog, by the way. I just remembered this because I raged when I was looking at my betting page. Zhang Weili is an underdog? It's free money. We move on to the main event. After my rant here, we move on to this main event, which I actually want to break down very, very in-depthly. Because every time I think about it, to this day, it's tomorrow. Every time I think about it, I go, fuck, the other guy's going to win. I come to a conclusion, and then the next day I'll go, no, dude, because of this. And then the next day I'll go, no, but this. Jack Della Maddalena is taking on Islam Makhachev for the welterweight strap. Islam Makhachev has vacated his lightweight championship earlier in the year. He's moving up in weight class to 170 to take on Jack Della Maddalena, who is a newly crowned bantamweight, welterweight champion of the world. Islam Makhachev looked kind of small, dude. I've been saying throughout the lead up, his face looks fat. His face looks like when Max moved up to fight Dustin for the second fight. That short notice. And his face kind of looks fat. His face in this entire week has looked pretty fat, Islam Makhachev. And then he got on the scale, and I went, where's his nipples, dude? Where's his chest? Not his nipples. His nipples were there, but where's his chest? He had no, chest muscle. What happened to him? Think of the Islam Makhachev that beats Charles Oliveira, and he stands up and he flexes his body hard as fuck as he screams, yeah, right? And you can see his abs, you can see his chest. He's on the scale, and I'm going, where is anything in his torso? He has no torso muscle on the scale, which scares me. But then I go, but he's such an elite grappler. And we know that Jack Della isn't an elite grappler. He can defend, but he's not elite. He's getting taken down by these guys like Basil Hafez. He's getting taken down by a Gilbert Burns. And he's getting up, and he's defending well, and he's not getting finished. But Islam Makhachev's a different animal than those guys. Even Bilal. So here's what I noticed. And I've watched the Bilal fight a few times. Bilal will back you up to the fence, and he'll pressure you and pressure you and pressure you. And then right at your breaking point, he'll shoot a takedown, and he'll get it because you're so pressured, you're so overwhelmed with what's going on that you can't even think about stopping a takedown, right? Jack Della Maddalena was the perfect counter for Belal because he has so high ring IQ and he's so smart in the cage that as soon as he starts getting pressured, he's out of there. As soon as his foot passes the black line and he's like near the cage, he's circling away, doing very, very good, very fast lateral movement in the correct directions, sometimes toward the power hand, but going toward the power hand, having flashed like a knee or an uppercut or something to deter Belal from like entering and changing level. And we know Belal's not really knocking people out, bro, so there's no worry about that. Although Belal clipped him a couple times in that fight, it wasn't really anything to be worried about, but he did hit him a few times. Jack is very, very smart, but that's why he was the perfect counter for Belal. Islam Makhachev isn't the guy pressuring you to the cage and then getting a takedown. He's shooting at range on the feet. Which then makes me go, how do we know how good Jack does? How does Jack defend that? How do we know if Jack can defend an at-range takedown on the feet? How can he defend a takedown in the middle of the mat? Belal never threw one of those. Belal only threw when he was on the cage. Not threw, shot. When Islam shoots a takedown in the middle of the octagon, is Jack going to be able to defend it? And I don't think so, because I think Islam's very, very fucking good at takedowns. Look at the leg sweep he done on Dustin Poirier. That's like, dude, this is like when you're watching Casino Royale from James Bond, and he has like a 99% chance to win, and then Les Miserables or whoever the fuck it is, Les Chiffres, has like the one card that can counter his card, and it goes from like 99% chance down to 0, right? That's what Islam Makhachev did against Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier had a 99% chance to finish or to avoid that takedown, to defend that takedown properly. And then Islam Makhachev had that one move that brings it from 99% down to 0%. How will Jack Della Maddalena do against that? I don't think he's going to survive that. But then you look at, dude, Islam got knocked out by a fly. No, he didn't actually get knocked out by a flyweight, but he got knocked out cold, and Jack Della has nasty hands, and he deters the takedown very well. He flashes knees. He flashes a lot of uppercuts. Watch the Belal fight. He's flashing uppercuts, and he's switching stances a lot to deter the takedown and to like have them confused about which foot to shoot on. You know what I'm saying? If your left foot is forward and then you switch to your right foot being forward, now you have to shoot on a different side, right? You have to adjust your takedown to the other side, which is why he's switching stance a lot in the Belal fight, which is why he's throwing knees a lot in the Belal fight, which is why he's throwing uppercuts a lot in the Belal fight. Not throwing them, but flashing them. He's not throwing them with the intent of knocking him out, but he's just like, when you're watching the Belal fight, he every so often just goes like that. He just does that. And it's not like coming off of his body. It's just a small little, I'll uppercut you just to deter that takedown threat. Which makes me go, Islam probably won't shoot. But then I go, Islam's also good on the feet. I don't think he's as good as Jack Della Maddalena. And he's kind of small. Jack Della Maddalena is going to win this fight. He's a big favorite, and I sprinkle a little money on him. Jack Della Maddalena is going to win this fight. I truly believe it. I don't see Islam getting him down. I think he's just smart. And like, fuck, dude, but like, I don't know, man. Because Islam can get him down. He can get him down. And if he gets him down, I think it'll be over. He's so good. Everywhere. Every single position, Islam is a finishing threat. Every single position on the ground, he will finish you. I don't know, dude. It's such a fucking close fight. I really, really like this matchmaking. I think I'm taking Jack Della Maddalena to win this fight, but it'll be close, man. It will be close. And that will do it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, hit that like and subscribe button. Zhang Weili is the GOAT. I almost did a salute, not an American one. All right? I'll see you guys next time. Also, I'm not going to make that joke. Bye-bye. Hit that subscribe button, bro.